Welcome back to Solomonarii. I do apologize for my absence. For some reason, the gateway for this transmission refused to open. Maybe what I needed was a few more sacrifices. My mistake. Subscribers. Yes, subscribers. That's the word. Anyway, the show must go on. Before the village had a house, before it had clothing, tools or objects, it needed a mark, a sign that could hold the people together. At the root of the mountain beneath Babariu, there is a human village. To the clans above, it may seem small and almost invisible. But the people who live there know the mountain is never just stone. They feel when the forest changes, when the air becomes heavier, when certain paths should not be taken. So their symbol begins with the sun, not only as light but as order. The thing that returns, the thing that rises again, even after the longest night. The circle becomes protection, the center becomes the heart, and the rays become a boundary between the human world and what moves beyond it. But like many old symbols, it carries more than one meaning. Some layers remain visible, others survive only through repetition. The villagers place their trust in it, and for many things it works, but only to a point. From this main sigil, smaller forms begin to appear. Some become borders, some become carvings. Some become patterns for clothing, doors and walls. The symbol changes shape, but the meaning is never entirely simple. To repeat the sun, to hold the center, to keep the village inside the light. And yet somewhere inside that order there is already a shadow. Not decoration, survival. After the sigil, the next step was the house. Because in this village, a house is not only shelter, it is a threshold, a human space built at the root of a mountain, where the world does not always behave as it should. So I wanted the structure to feel grounded, simple, practical, but marked by belief. The heavy roof presses downward, almost like it's holding the house close to the earth. The wooden pillars support the walls, but they also carry the signs of the tribe. And the door became the most important part, because the door separates two worlds. Inside, there is fire, family and breath. Outside, there is forest, silence, and things that do not always announce themselves. So the solar mark returns. On the walls, on the pillars, at the entrance, not just to decorate the house, but to define the boundary around it. To say where the human world begins and where the other one must remain outside. This is a house, but is also a charm. Once the house was finished, I wanted to move the same visual onto the body. So I started with a young woman from the village, around 19 or 20 years old. Not a priestess, not a warrior, just someone who belongs here. The clothing had to feel practical first, made for daily life, for work, for movement, and the needs of the village. But even simple clothing carries meaning. The solar signs appears on the sleeves, on the borders, around the head covering, and close to the center of the body, because the body is also a threshold. The same marks found on doors and walls are now carried by a living person. They show belonging, what was passed down to protect. But not every inherited sign is fully understood. Some are trusted because they have always been there, so even an ordinary villager becomes part of a larger pattern. A small figure beneath Babariu, wearing signs of light, order, and a history not yet revealed. So this is the first pass at the human village beneath Babariu. The ones who build houses where symbols keep fire burning and try to survive besides forces they do not fully understand. For now, I started with the foundation. This village may look simple from the outside, but In Solomonarii, the ordinary world is never separate from the hidden one. It is only the first layer, and this is where the human side of the story begins. And that's it for this episode. So far we started with the Strigoi, Băltoarea Veacurilor, and Babariu, the hidden school above the mountain. And now we moved below it to the human village at the root of the system. Let me know in the comments what would you like to see developed next, more about the human village or other parts of the Solomonarii universe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.